you create what is called a false personality in your mind, right? You fantasize. People like that, they fantasize a lot. I want to be Barbie, But the thing is, in actuality, they are not Barbie. But in their minds, they are Barbie. Because Barbie becomes what? An escape route. Or they imagine themselves to be some princess. Because when they come, they come into their reality is pain. So they escape into that false personality that you have created. Are you understanding me?
Yeah.
And that is why it's called, in the Greek, it's called daisuke. They have got double soul. Right? So in their mind, so some people sometimes when they want to be alone. And when you watch them, you see them happy, laughing. But in actuality, they don't laugh. But the thing is, they are in their kind of their dream world, right? They fantasize and imagine, I'm at this place that nobody can hurt me anymore. Maybe I've got somebody, I'm living in a palace, and I've got my prince who's protecting me. Are you understanding me? People fantasize. Mine too do the same thing. People who have been abandoned and have gone through severe rejection, that is how they behave. So they reach a point, and then it becomes part and parcel of their life. Yes.
Are you saying that they put on a facade or two kind of personalities to, I don't know, comfort them or to keep themselves from being hurt?
I say a false personality. They develop a false personality. The real personality is what you see, right? The person is natural. Am I confusing you?
No.
Okay. The natural person, the natural individual, right? But that natural person is the person who has gone through rejection and abuse and pain and is hurting and suffering. Are you understanding me? So, in their minds, they create what is called a false personality, right? And that false personality is like an escape route. That is what they imagine themselves to be. Are you hearing me? That is what they imagine themselves to be. It is like, maybe Cinderella living in that. I'm not saying Cinderella was thinking like that, right? In that kind of condition, and also dreaming that she'll be what? In the palace, married to the prince. Are you getting it? Right? So they create that sense of what? That sense, and then they escape into it. So when in actuality, maybe they are going through pain as a result of their rejection and the things, because sometimes people do have mental flashbacks. You'll be sitting down and all of a sudden it hits you that, these things went on in your life some time ago. It can depress you. Some people have mood swings. There are some times that they don't even want to talk to their friends, or they become a different person. They see you talk to them and they are angry. Whoa, what's this? We were just talking and laughing yesterday. Today I see you are angry. What did I do? You didn't do nothing. But the thing is, that person has been emotionally what? Been damaged. You have to get to know the person. And some of those people, all you have to do is what? To have patience, listen to their story and not judge. And listen to their story and not judge. But some of them, it takes a long time before they can open up and tell you a whole lot of what have gone through their lives. Because number one, they are having trust issues. People they trusted abandoned them. People they trusted hurt them. People they trusted wounded them. Are you understanding me? So they can love you, but they are still hesitant about the trust factor. Yes?
You said that some emotional wounds can't be fixed, right? Some emotional wounds can't be fixed. So can that person who can't fix their wounds, can they be loved or are capable of loving somebody else? Because sometimes like the emotional wounds keep you from wanting to know people. So I just want to know if it's possible.
It's possible. The thing is, I have to correct that. I didn't say some emotional wounds cannot be fixed. I said emotional wounds takes a long time. And usually, because why does it take a long time? Most people don't want to talk about what has gone on in their lives. So you may be living with a person like this woman that I made an analogy, that the husband, later on the husband was telling me, Pastor, I didn't know my wife like that. I didn't know my wife like that. The guy was confessed, and they have lived for years. They have lived for over 20 years. He said, I didn't know this woman. Because once he started talking and crying and, saying all that have gone on, he has never heard the wife said those things to him. It was new to him. He didn't know how her life history has been. You see? And usually what I said, most people, because the emotional wounds are some things that are very embarrassing. So usually some people don't want to talk about it. They try to pen it down, right? But the thing is, these are things that are not going to heal by themselves.
So if they don't fix it, then they're still going to have it.
That is why you need to go through counseling. And usually when you are going through your marriage counseling and things like that, it's better that you go through counseling and prayer and deliverance.
Okay, what if they don't do any of that? And
if you don't do that, it can affect your personality. There are many people who sometimes wear a facade, and there are I'm not saying all these people are like that. There are most people who have this emotional wound. There are people who sometimes, mostly, they keep themselves very, very busy with things.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that is one of their destiny. So they are involved in, when they have children, they're involved in, their soccer mom, their school, whatever. They are involved in everything. Because when they sit still, the thoughts will come, and then so they keep themselves very busy. They are in this, they are in that, they are in that. So all the time they are floating around. You see, and if they have a smile for everybody, you think, oh, that sister is real sweet. But when they go home and they cry, when they are alone, it hits them and they start crying. But the thing is, sometimes they do not want to discuss it because they're going through so much pain, and they don't. And usually, I say this because some people, no matter what, when these things, some even become suicidal. Mm-hmm. Are you getting? So I'm not saying it cannot be cured. No, it can be cured.
Well, I'm not saying that it can't be cured. I'm just saying, like, if you're not willing to fix it, and is that person, or could that person be capable of being loved or loving somebody?
For sure. Because the thing is, what I was saying is this. Through some ingenious ways, people like that, and I believe it's kind of demonic. They create that kind of that double-souled kind of thing, false personality. So they can come across as being very, very sweet and things like that, right? When they are in a crowd, it is hard to tell whether these people have problems. They wear their facade. If you heard it some people say, oh, this person wears his or her facade very well. Have you heard it before? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They can put up a very nice front, but you don't know what is going on inside. They are grieving but smiling before you. You see, hurting, until maybe sometime when they have been able to muster some courage and enough trust that one day they will be able to blurt out and tell you what is going on in their lives. Because sometimes people like that, their problem is trusting people. So when they are so close to you and maybe they check you out and see something, they find some comfort, then they want to let it go. You see? And when it comes to that, as a pastor, what do? I sit down and allow people like that to vent. Because venting helps. You see? Because the thing is, they are so much pent up feelings and emotions. So when it comes out and comes and the person cries, and if a person is talking to you like that, what you have to do is please listen. do two things. Be a good listener and also a good, prayer partner. Because it's not telling you things. And 3, never, ever, ever tell a soul what that person has just told. Are you listening? Because if you betray their trust, that is it. If you betray their trust, that is it. But if you can let them count on you, God can use you to deliver that individual. That I told this person everything about me, and he never or she never told the soul. They will come to you all the time, and God can use you to deliver that individual. Are you understanding me? I've seen husbands do it for wives, and wives do it for husbands. And today, but at the end, when a person is delivered, then you'll be living with a very sweet, because the person not only trusts you but also respects you. Are you getting it? So let me. Have I answered your question? Okay, Jeannie Sanders. Yeah.
What if that person's emotional wounds is too much for you to deal with as a person? Like you say, not to judge them, but sometimes there's only so much you can take, and then them venting onto you, and then you hearing their story, like whether they did something or whether something was done to them, it might make you look at them different. Like, and like I said, what if it's just too much for you, and you just can't deal with it anymore?
Well, the thing is, if you're in a relationship, it's for better or for worse.
But that's marriage.
Well, the thing is, it is shaping up into it. Mm-hmm. So it's for better, for worse. Everybody brings what? Some garbage. Everybody has got some skeletons in your cupboard. Are you understanding me? In the closet. You see, so the thing is, if the thing is, you cannot love the person and also not love what the person has gone through. So the thing is, that's why I said, it can never be too much for you. If you really, really have the person, that's why I talk, if you are not careful, you allow selfishness to betray you. Because the thing is, why do you think of 4 people you are the one he wants to confide in? Are you because you are a better doctor? Doctor know-it-all? No. It's because he has seen some strength in you. And he wants to feed on that strength. He's seen some, I don't want to use, secular word like energy, right? He's seen some wisdom in you. Something that maybe you yourself has not realized. That's why that person is what? Opening up to you. So it's not because you are that special. Are you understanding me? So if the person is that, when you are listening, listen and also pray in your head. That is all that you have to do. Listen and pray in your head. As you are praying and praying and praying, the person can go on, but also pay attention. Because if you kind of move your eyes sideways and things like that, they think you are ignoring them. They will get, oh no, next time we'll continue. Mm-hmm. Because he thinks nobody cares for him or her. He's seen that attitude before. Mm-hmm. You see, when he was trying to maybe to come across to, get some understanding. Emotional, this thing is very, very, if you are not careful, it's a make a break. You see, so just look at the person attentively, and as you are listening, be praying in your head. And come across as, comforting. Sometimes maybe hold the person's hand, or maybe put an arm around the person, and part of the person is, sobbing, and just don't interrupt. As the person goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, I tell you, at the end, God will give you some wisdom, and with a few words, you'll be able to get a deal sealed. Because if a person goes on like that, having released it all, and you using wisdom and talking to that person and praying for them, he will never bring that thing up again. Never. But get ready for hours. And it's because maybe the person respects your wisdom, respects your judgment, trusts you. That is why these things, do happen. To be honest, I tell you these things. Most people feel betrayed. And later on they will say that you are not there for me emotionally. Yes, you can keep the relationship. But how do you have a relationship? Or what do you call it? If the person thinks you are not there for him or her emotionally. So sometimes they think you are not, they cannot get the emotional support that they need. Yes.
I don't know. I think it's kind of I don't think it's a good idea to allow them to share all their information with you, because I remember I was talking to one guy and he went through a lot of stuff. I mean, it was like a lot. He would be like, can one person go through all that? And like afterwards, I would see when we would do stuff, like he would bring the stuff he went through, it would affect him in different areas. So you would be like, okay, he's doing that because he went through this and that and this. And I was like, I really couldn't talk to him anymore because I knew everything he went through, and it made me look at him in another way. So I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea for somebody to tell you all their business if they're not there, if you're not with them for the long run. I mean, you really haven't tied the knot and everything like that.
Well, the thing is, you see, it depends on the person's the victim's emotional capacity to hold on and to endure. Are you understanding me? People have different strengths. You have to understand, right? People have different strengths. Natural strength and spiritual strengths. And that's why I posed the question: why do you think a person will just come and just divulge his or her secrets to you if she's not seeing something in you that she thinks or he thinks will be able to work? So when that person is talking to you, right? Okay, I'm coming. You see, when that person, if you say that it's like going to see a doctor, right? And the doctor is trying to diagnose your thing, and you are giving the history, you reach upon the doctor says stop and gives you a prescription. Do you think will you want to go and see that doctor again? He did not listen to what? The history, your medical history, all the way to the end, right? In the middle, somebody says stop. And then he wrote something and said, this is your prescription. You see, I don't think, so the thing is, if a person is coming across that way, usually people like that, they talk a lot. Because you don't know how many years those things have been accumulated within that individual. You see? So please, and if you say, okay, let's continue, he think maybe you are being dismissive. Or you are trying to to minimize, what the person has gone through. It's easier to say, oh, let's go and just, let's go and, It's easier to say that. That's why people have different strengths. There are some people later on, they commit suicide. Recently, one man whose wife is in the housewives or something, killed himself. Not many people can handle certain pressures in a certain way. Some people, they don't care. Someone like Dennis Rodman, the thing is, he didn't have it easy in life, right? So he's kind of resolved that, hey, me, for whatever comes, I'm moving on. You see, but not everybody is like him. Are you understanding me? So that is why we have to please be, understanding and sympathetic. Otherwise, we can come across as being selfish. And you don't want to be in a relationship with a person, and the person thinks that when it comes to me, you don't care, but when it comes to you, you want me to devote all the time. Yes, Andy?
Rose just left, so.
Okay. Yes, I said T.
Huh?
Tina? Okay.
But I think, like she was saying, when somebody comes to you and addresses, tells you whatever that he or she is going through, That doesn't. You don't have to be in a relationship with that person for that person to come out like that to you, because maybe it is through you that that person can, be saved or something like that. So she was saying that, like she was saying, you have to know those things before you tie the knot. You don't really have to be in a relationship with anybody for that person to vent out to you. Yeah, you don't have to, because I have so many friends who have told me like so many things that go some deep down in their family, and these are guys, So.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing is, the point is, it's not only that. Thank you for that. I think I missed that point. You don't have to be like a married, to hear that, because usually when we're even married couple, sometimes there are a lot of distractions. When children are involved in business, sometimes you don't even have time to even listen. And sometimes when people married couples sometimes have a tendency. Courtship time, I think that's the time to really to know who the person is and where the person is coming from, what the person has been through, right? But the thing is, we thank God for the Holy Spirit. That also helps us to give us what? The inner strength. Are you understanding me? But sometimes you need somebody to be able, a shoulder to what? To cry on. Are you hearing me? But that's why sometimes you can be what? Very, condescending. Some people can be very, they are bad doctors, right? They can be very condescending and very dismissive, and sometimes like, oh, you don't have faith. You don't have faith. The thing is, the person has faith. Who has faith than Jesus? But on the cross says, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. Are you understanding me? She was feeling that the Father was rejection. But the thing is, all these things, it wasn't like Jesus because he can handle it. Are you understanding me? But these things also what gives us, we human beings, what insight to know, then to even to relate to certain things. Because sometimes we come to a point that we feel that God has abandoned us, forsaken us, and things like that, which of course is not true. God will never forsake you, right? Mr. Robert.
When is it too early for somebody to start venting these things within a relationship, or because I think at some point, if you tell somebody things about yourself that are too personal too soon, you may make them uncomfortable, because if they hear these things now, they might believe that there's worse things later on. So when is it an appropriate time for someone to release those feelings or vent on their past anger or frustration?
Thank you very much. I think Robert is, talking very much as a man. Most men, they freak out. When they meet you first time, maybe the first day to start bringing your family problems. My mother abandoned me. I don't even have money to pay for my rent and this and that. Hey, you beg to you excuse yourself to go to the restroom. If you're not careful, you will pay for the meal and he's gone. It's true, but the thing is, I think what I said before was this. Usually, those things come, and I don't think usually they are kind of premeditated. It's got a degree of spontaneity to it. When the person has really developed some comfort level with you, has checked you out and know that, this is the person where trust has been established. Because the thing is, what the person is telling you, is for someone to open up to you, is kind of, opening up. You are getting to know the other side of his or her life that nobody has been there. You see? So, it's like, washing your dirty linen in public, right? So it's not just everybody get to hear that. So they have to really gauge and check and know that, yes, my secrets are what? Safe with you. And I don't think maybe a first date, can do that. Or maybe, once you have begun at the things were at the superficial level, then, those things are coming, right? I know that all things being equal, it's not like that. Except where some person, that individual in question is so deeply overwhelmed. And just needs somebody to talk to.